And as Christians, we worship the Lord. But what is Halloween worshiping, celebrating? Death, Satan, evil. Those are the things that are celebrated on Halloween. And and you might think to yourself like, "Oh no, it's just fun costumes and candy and stuff like that." Like actually, y'all, there are literally people who worship Satan. There are literally people who like do that every day of the year, okay? Not just on Halloween. And so for us to join in on satanic worship celebration, that is not for us. That is not for us. Do we want to spend time with the thief who comes to steal, kill, and destroy, or do we want to spend time with Jesus who came that we would have life and have it abundantly? Because here's the thing, Jesus is way better than candy and costumes, okay? He is way better than anything that Halloween has to offer us. And Halloween is built on fear and like literally like the movies that they make, Halloween movies and stuff like that, like they're very dark and there are spirits attached to those things, like some kind of like I was talking about in this live stream is like, what are we fixing our eyes on? What are we looking at when we're looking at those things? Like things, when we look at it, it kind of becomes inside of us, like it becomes part of us. And so yeah, we don't want anything to do with wickedness, with evil. The Bible even says, there's a verse that says have nothing to do with that kind of stuff. And so as Christians, we stay away from that. I do not celebrate Halloween myself, no. Now, not to say I have never, when I was younger and I wasn't following Jesus, I didn't really know. And if you're here and you're listening to this and this is all new to you and you're like, wait, I'm a Christian, I celebrate Halloween, and this is new to you, I just encourage you, hey, let's maybe not do that anymore because it's really not best for you. It's not God's best for you to join in on that. And of course, there are churches that have fall festivals and, appreciating nature and looking at the fall leaves and the pumpkins that God grew. God did that, okay? God is the reason for the season. Like he's the reason for every season because he made them. And so let's focus on him and glorify him and not give any credit to the devil because he doesn't even like us, okay? He just wants the worst for us. And so let's stay away from him. Also, something that I was just thinking about is like, y'all, candy is so full of sugar. And here's the thing, I have a sweet tooth, so I like candy. But I mean, what are the odds that it would be built on consuming tons of candy, which like really isn't that good for our bodies? Honestly, like sugar, especially candy, like that kind of stuff, really not good for us. So that's kind of telling, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He wants to destroy your health. He wants to destroy, all these other things. So just a thought. But yeah, so a verse, I got a verse to talk about here. There's a verse that says, you cannot drink the cup of the Lord. Is that a verse? Oh, okay, this is the verse I was talking about. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just saying, like, let's not take part in that, but let's be a light and realize, hey, that is not of the Lord. We're not going to associate with that. So that's a long answer to a short question, but I just see in Christian circles how like there are some Christians who do take part in this and some who don't, and I think a lot of the times it's just because we've been misinformed and we think that it's okay. But I've even heard the argument like, oh well, it's the one night of the year that you can meet all of your neighbors. And if you think about it, like we go all over the world every day, like in the grocery store, in our schools, we have the opportunity to be around people all the time. And so there are other ministry opportunities. We can't just use Halloween as like a crutch, like, oh, I'm only going to minister to people on Halloween because that's the only time I'm ever going to see them. So I hope that all makes sense. I have a whole soapbox about Halloween. But also, y'all, watch out for those scary movies. I really highly recommend staying away from them because they are not going to do anything good for you. And, if you've struggled with watching those, if you have watched those, if you're struggling with fear and nightmares and things like that, God can deliver you, okay? Seek him. He will deliver you of everything, okay? So go to him and experience his perfect peace and stay away from the things of darkness.